Okay, I'm going to try to talk just exactly straight into the camera with nobody conversationally answering me or asking questions or anything like that. That camera's harder to look at than somebody else's eyes. I've never done this before, actually, just plain look straight into the camera and try to say something. I've even recommended to people that they might do that to find out something about themselves, and I've never done it for myself. And actually, I want to look around at anything else, at Steve sitting over there recording this, or Bob, his eye going like this as the other one's glued up to the camera. I want to put on some kind of an act. I'd almost rather do a song and dance, which I'd be no good at. And things are intruding, which is helpful, like that was the radiator that made a big thump, and I feel like I'll save maybe this thing from having classical music or something slapped over it if I refer to the fact that the camera can be heard running, very distantly, fluttering in the distance, and very hard. Not quite like looking in a mirror, because I can't really see myself, but I have that sense that there's something in there that is seeing myself. Despite the fact that I know that really what's happening is light is bouncing off of me from studio type or professional type lighting equipment, bouncing off me and being reflected by my skin surface and suit surface and whatever's around me, down through the tunnel of that lens and making, changing the chemicals on a strip of celluloid that is passing through that camera. And actually, it's kind of a good discipline, because I'm not, for instance, for once, I'm not really, unless I struggle to think about it, I'm not thinking about talking to any audience that this might be shown to later. Maybe I am. But really, there's a kind of a meditation thing to it. I mean, I've said all these things in front of audiences before. Maybe that's the trouble. If I just, sometimes I think if I just shut up, or how well I could. I've, for instance, been telling people that I think really for the art of the film, that sound is an aesthetic error. And that maybe so severe a one that even within 20 years, if people have a concept of film as art in 20 years that's worth anything, they might be a general assumption that all the pursuit of, by artists of the medium to put sound on a film was really a blind alley. Whereas right now I could illustrate it beautifully by, I said, just going on talking and not making any noise at all. And actually, so there wouldn't be, it wasn't the case that someone came and removed that noise later. I mean, I can make it, sitting here, can move my lips as if I am talking, so that one can see when I'm not actually talking the extent to which I'm dropping masks over my face or something more of the face. I mean, at least it's my theory that if the major consideration of film is really the visual, then that the reason sound is a blind alley is because it cuts back sight, so that at the very instant that suddenly the sound is removed, or that it's relatively silent, my theory is that it becomes more possible to see. And that at the very instant that a word comes in, it immediately becomes more difficult for whomever to see. I suddenly see more when I stop talking, for instance. I also get scared. I sometimes think the real reason that say, aside from the wonder of lip sync that the movies plaster mood music and everything else all over the soundtrack is so that there's never a moment of silence, is because people are afraid. And with sound pouring into the ears, they feel more comforted, lullabied in some sense.